Bonjour, bonsoir à tout le monde qui a regardé nous. Bonjour à tout le monde qui est ici là. Je dis merci à l'équipe moyen qui est vraiment tireless, working very hard to make this all thing possible. This was a journey. When we started, we were started to see where we can fill the gap for the community that we live in. And far too many times, we observe that people that are making decisions for us, for our future, for our kids, they have no interest about what we need or even knowing what we've been through to exactly what to vote that will benefit us. I decided to run for office after a long time been serving in the military. Come back home, I look at my neighborhood, still the same way I left it. And 90% of the homes are vacant, on foreclosures, and there's no jobs in the community. I decide to grab my boots, drop my guns, and decide to pick up my pens to run for office so I can fight through legislature to make sure I can make a change to my community. For far too long, if you look at the history of Sanford, especially Goldsboro, is one of the oldest cities in Florida. When it comes to business, I remember about 20 years ago, when I walk on 13th Street, it used to be alive. You have all type of activities, kids playing, people selling, food. You have little club businesses opening. Today, as I walk through 13th Street, I almost forget this is a place as a young man that I used to walk through. There's no development. The city still standing still because nothing changed from 20 years ago. Beside the biggest building in 13th Street is the police station. Whenever you have police station or government building is bigger than the business of the community, that's when you know something is wrong. Because you cannot invest more in security and policing than the average community you'd say you vow to defend and protect it. I take a trip to Midway. Again, Midway is one of the largest community minority in Sanford. People in Midway doesn't even know where they belong. Do they belong to Orange County? Do they belong to Seminole County? Because they in the debate to know where they belong. Coming here today, I'm here to tell you, I choose to run for District 36, which is comprised of Longwood, Lake Mary, Sanford, Ethel, and Geneva. I'm here to tell you today, if one person that's you gonna have to count on to represent the community, that person is me. I've been proven before that this country select me to go fight in foreign lands that I have no idea, while my hometown, my neighbor is in disarray. So I come to bring the fight home and to represent the voiceless, to give a voice to anyone that scream no one is heard them. Today, I'm running for District 36 House Representative for Florida. And I'm looking at you today. I want you to look at me. I want your vote. And you will not be regretting voting for me, because a vote for me is a vote for change. It's a vote to fight for better incentive for our community. It's a vote for embracing and supporting public school. It's a vote for supporting program initiative for mental health, because in our community it's a taboo. Behavioral health, we about 60% of young black men and women suffer from mental illness. But it's a taboo to speak about it because we do not have any funding that would be directed toward behavioral health. When you have teenagers from the age of 5 to 17, they show early signs of mental illness. But that was never somebody that took time to do research. They always allocated fund. The fund they allocated always in general terms, is never specifics. They will say, we have $6 million to cover behavioral health. And that end can be attached to a lot of other stuff that have nothing to do with behavioral health. It's time for us to start standing up to know what we need. We have also in this district, specifically Sanford, we have a growing population of Hispanic, where we have a minority majority in Sanford. What does a need for a 6th district? We need to make sure we fight for a 6th district, because with the growing of our population, with the growing of our populations, we cannot lose the minority majority that we have. This city been always fighting prejudice, racism. It's time to say us. When we say us, that include us. That doesn't just include a few. It's time when we say we part of the we, not just on paper. We do not have to pass a special laws for our rights to be respected as human. I know the constitution of this country left us out. We have to have an emancipation rights in 1865 to count us as human. But it's for far too long. We let people dictate our future. We need to stand up for ourselves. We need to fight for us, by us, and together we can achieve that. And as your representative, I guarantee you that right. I will guarantee you I will fight with every single fibers in my body to maintain and sustain the equality, diversity, especially we got health care. Cannot be a privilege in this country. We are the biggest country on earth. We need to live by that in all aspects. There's a big fallacy in the world that there's no poverty in the United States, especially if you go to a district. But I invite you to come to my district. I will walk the street with you where we have people that left out of every development that's going on in this country. We have Sanford is a beautiful cities. We have an airport. We have plenty of water. We have land. We have everything Orlando is dreaming of. But one thing, we do not have enough to sell Sanford as a tourist destination. I would take the fight to showcase our beauty. I will take the fight to showcase our ugliness. Because if you don't know what we look like without makeup, you will not have to know us with makeup. So Sanford have a beauty place. We have sunshine, we got lakes, we got nice building. At the same time, that's a sign of Sanford. The media won't show you. I want to show you why I'm fighting. I want to show you that side where I can show you we need to fight to make sure we fight for equality in this city. We cannot talking about equality only on papers. We cannot talking about equality only on TV. We need to walk the walk, talk the talk. And I think time is now to vote for a change. And the change we start with me. Thank you.
All right. guy. You heard. I know, that this short speech, we're not going to keep you for long, but, this is the time where you have the opportunity to address the candidate and talk. Whatever issue you want to discuss, that's the opportunity to talk to the team and see how you can get involved in this campaign. But because remember, this is, yes, a fight, but it's not a fight that we can, it is not something that we can do alone. We need all of you to get involved however you can to make sure that we succeed in this campaign. So thank you again for being here. Say that again? Yeah, and if you have questions, this is the time to ask the candidate. He's here with me. I'm going to give you each about 1 minute. If you have any question, you start, and then he answers.
The question, how is gun reform affect the Second Amendment? Second Amendment really is just the map. If you read the Second Amendment right, it has nothing to do with the new politic of gun reform we're talking about. So gun reform will not affect Second Amendment right because it's a constitutional right. So with gun reform, we're talking about making sure not if somebody not mentally capable to make a judgment will not be able to obtain a weapons. And the reform is criminals. Like when I say criminals, somebody is serving time, is a serial criminal, 3-4 times in prison, that person loses right to carry a weapon unless they can deem necessary that person can be to make a sound judgment. Reform doesn't mean taking nobody's gun away. I'm a strong believer in the defend protecting myself, not with the rocks, but with a gun. But at the same time, there must be steps that taken to people that obtain the gun and or they acquired it.
How do you feel about gun buybacks? And would you support cities and communities buying guns back off?
100%. 100% because that's money that local government should be allocated for that and also must have support of the federal government because we witness the effectiveness of that in Pennsylvania and Philadelphia from 1986 to 1990. That is the best program that is in place that make that city safer. And also recently in Chicago from 98 to 2007, that was the lowest crime rate in the history of Chicago by the gun buying backs. If you go to California, we're going to Oakland, California. That's a 10 years buying back guns from 2008 to 2018, and the city experienced the lowest crime rate with what we call the ghost guns in their history. I think that's something I will fully put my hat behind, and I really push to support any movement like that because I see the result of those buying backs.
More questions? Oh, she has a question.
Okay, good. I see that you believe in the increase the minimum wage. We know now every prices rise up. So, what is your strategy for us Floridians? Because we know in Florida we have the less minimum wage in America. So, what is your strategy to fight for us to have a minimum wage increase?
I don't think you need a strategy for what is right because this is a right. It's not a privilege. Since 1974, Congress and the Senate, I'm speaking in general for the federal level, they have about 22 increases in their pays. And that's given about 800% from what they used to get paid in 1974 to today. From 1974, from minimum wage $5.25 nationwide, there's only 3 attempts to increase the minimum wage. As of today, there's supposed to be a law that passed in 2012 where they're supposed to increase the minimum wage. It never passed Congress, not the Senate. Why? Because the person that support their congressmen, the senators, the sponsors, they are the same person that's making profits by the millions every year. So they will not pass a law that will affect their re-election. I don't care about re-electing. If I have to do 2 months in this position to make a mark, that's what I will fight for, because I fight for what I believe and what's necessary. That's a good question, but as that come home, that's hit very home. When you say to more benefits, you scare people that's not veteran. They might think we have enough benefits. So let me clear that. When this country send you to war, when you come back home, it's easy to go to war. You're 18, you sign up, you get to training, 2 months training, come back, give you M16. Next thing they tell you, this is your enemy. And go fight. Put you in a plane, see you later. When you come back home, you have to call 20 numbers. You have to schedule an appointment within, sometimes it takes 2 years. I just called to schedule my vision. They tell me the next open is May 2023. To schedule my dental, they told me the next open they have is 5th December 2022. I called back in May. So just to show you, veteran affairs have about 20% of the GDP budget of the United States. We just need to make sure we empower the local government and people like me, that the House representative from the state. We need to fight not only for veterans, because healthcare is a right. It cannot be a privilege for people to have healthcare. I will definitely fight for better healthcare, better system, not catch all. If you don't have healthcare, you're going to penalize because you can afford. But I think we can do better, because we're giving about $700 billion to fund a war that we have no interest in, just for a strategic aspect. We can invest 10% in that in our community. If they want to keep doing that in my district, I will fight to give me my part, so I can make sure I invest that in my district. For me, I'm running as an American, first of all. I proudly represent my community, but I will be fighting for reform for everybody, because we have over 90 different ethnicities that come in this country that's seeking the help for immigration. This country was founded on help of the immigrants. I came, I play my part. As an immigrant, the country benefits from me. I went to war, leave my family behind. I'm educated in this country. I serve this government to the highest level, from DC to the War College to Italy. Nobody call me Haitian. They call me as a diplomat American. But I am here to fight for every immigrant, because this country told you, if you come here, you must fight salvation, because they here for the helpless. We need to help them accountable, because prejudice in every program that's existed is not something I can say I would change, because it's the system. But I can guarantee you, I will fight for every law that pass is fair across the board.
Last question? Okay. All right. Thank you so much. All right. I think with that being said, we're just going to chill a little bit and talk with the candidate. I know you guys have a lot to talk about. And remember, we have a sign-in sheet if you want to get involved in this campaign. We are here to receive you and talk to you and tell you about the game plan moving forward. And 4 o'clock tonight, we're going to be at Habnat at the city center. So, Civic? Or the Civic Center. So we're going to be there. We have a big table and with other candidates, of course, but we're going to make sure that we bring our people, our voice there too. So make sure you drive. It's going to be at 4. So we're going to be there probably at 3:30 to set up everything, and we will be receiving you. All right? So remember, we have the sheets here. Sign up and become a volunteer tonight. Thank you.